On today's Try to Finish Something, I had something happen to me in one of my nerd groups that I've never had happen before. There was a guy by the name of Scott Hall who posted pictures from his Etsy shop. He makes metal Star Wars money, and I collect different types. Shocking, I know, it's Star Wars stuff and I collect it. I have a bunch of different Star Wars metal money, but there's some that I don't have, and I had reached out to him and said, hey, I'm interested in some of your metal money that you make. And he said, hey, aren't you the same Shawn Cash who makes stuff on Try to Finish Something, Star Wars nerdy stuff? And I said, that would be me. And he said, how about we trade? You make me something and I'll make you something. Now, this is the same Scott Hall who, when I had posted pictures in the nerd group, those wire hangers that I was making for my base cave to hold all that overhead wiring, I had posted some pictures and said, hey, can anyone guess what this is? He had posted on that and said, I hope that they are Coke bottle holders for this style of Galaxy's Edge soda containers. They, of course, weren't. They were the hangers for overhead. But when I just went to Galaxy's Edge, they didn't have their Coke in these anymore. So I hang on to things. I know, you're shocked that I hang on to all kinds of trash, aren't you? I still have mine, and I thought these were collector's items. And someone from the nerd group said they're back to selling them in these, and I thought, well, if anyone else has these, maybe someone else needs a thermal detonator Coke holder to keep your beverage on a desk or at work or wherever it is you happen to be. And I thought, this is something that I could make for Scott, and maybe something somebody else would have an interest in as well. So a thermal detonator Coke holder, that's what I'm gonna make on today's Try to Finish Something. So here is the hole diameter that I think I'm looking for. And someone in one of my nerd groups, when I was complaining about how much wood I waste when I'm prototyping my ideas, said, why don't you do it with cardboard and use the Glowforge? I don't understand you. I actually don't know if they sound that way because I don't remember who it was and I don't know them. I'm just dumb. But that was a brilliant suggestion. Despite the voice I used describing the suggestion, I figured out my shape and cut it on the Glowforge a few times until I was happy with it and happy with the size of the hole that would allow the bottom to sit flush on the inside of the receptacle. Now, off to the Glowforge. Let's let the laser cutting thing do its thing. I can't pull that off. I wasted 3 sides of a box getting this right, and that was way better than 4 sheets of Glowforge particle board. Again, brilliant idea. Okay, come on, hurry up, little robot. Scott has a beverage that he needs held. All right, it's done. Time to see what the Glowforge has cut for me. I love this tiny detail that you can get when cutting with a laser. And all of these little offcuts that fall from these cuts, those will all be greeblies that will wind up on something else. Okay, I have to peel off the protective backing on both sides of all of these parts. And while I do, let's talk about my plan. Scott wasn't able to commit to Rebels or the Empire, so I decided to do my own middle ground. A ground you already know that I love. It's not quite Rebels, and it's not exactly Empire anymore. This is a piece of post-Empire hardware that's still in use, but it doesn't necessarily have to be used by the Empire. This galactic thermal detonator Coke drink holder was built by the Empire, but now it could be in anyone's hands. It has seen a lot of wear and showing the signs of age. It could live in the Mandalorian time period or on the streets of Black Spire. It has a purpose, and there are many who need its usefulness. Oh yeah, I'm also going to add some magnets so that I can stick it to the fridge or to the side of a desk. That seems like it's canon, right? I am just assembling this with super glue and using a 1-2-3 block to make sure that everything is at a perfect 90-degree angle. I will also reinforce the back with more of this thick super glue and some kicker. Now for these front two pieces, I will sand down the edges to be at more of a 45-ish degree angle to fit a bit tighter into those angled corners. And when I'm done, I'm going to sand all of the edges and add some filler putty to get everything nice and smooth. Then I step outside to hit it with some gray filler primer and some black paint and bring it back inside for a trick I've been wanting to try that I learned from VanOaksProps. He did a video where he did a rust texture on a plastic lock using black paint and baking soda. I thought I would give it a try. I will link his video in the description. Basically, it's just a 1-to-1 mix of your black craft paint and baking soda. Then you dab it onto the project to give you that added texture. I will definitely be doing that again. A big thank you to VanOaksProps for that tip. Look at all of that texture. Okay, I laser cut a few red pieces of acrylic to back some of these openings to make it look like they once had a purpose, and I will just glue those in. I cut them so they run long past the open holes and vents, and I will just put some glue on the edges. All right, I got a little carried away. I'm going to knock some of the texture back in the centers of these panels where the rust wouldn't be as bad, and as I sand that, I see the baking soda turning again into its white powder form. I will wipe that with a damp paper towel and black again. Now, this is the part that I am very familiar with, the painting. My original color of the drink holder will be Imperial Gray. I will only paint that in the center of these panels. Then I will edge parts of that in tan. I am just using cheap Walmart craft paints. Then I will use the dampness of that tan paint to kind of blend the edges together just a little bit with the brush. Now this is all random with the tan, and not all of the edges will look the same. Now I'm coming in and doing the same thing farther out with a darker brown and blending those edges.
and I will do the same with orange. Now the orange is going to be more sparing and blotchy with its application. I'm going to do a few streaks at this point with a thin brush with some of these lighter colors, and I'm going to add a few tiny highlights of yellow. Now a bit of silver rub and buff and some turpentine to add a few chips where it chipped all the way to the metal. I will come back to paint more in just a little bit, but I want to mix up a small amount of JB Weld to glue in my 3 magnets to the back panel that I had already pre-cut to hold my magnets. Ah, look at that. Now, while the JB Weld dries, I want to come in with my greasy dirt, the brown and black water-based oil paints. I'm almost done. Okay. I need to stop. I really love telling a story with paint and love weathering a prop. I'm calling my post-Empire thermal detonator Coke bottle magnetized drink holder finished. I will make this pattern into a PDF and make it available as soon as I figure out how I can do that so that you can make your own on a laser cutter or a jigsaw if you would like. The one condition is you have to share your pictures down below. I really hope you liked the video as much as I enjoyed making it, and if you did, please share it and tell a friend. If you didn't, as always, just keep it to yourself, and we'll see you next time as we try to finish something.